As a Commission, our commitment doesn't end there, and we have quite a number of plans to pursue initiatives to facilitate the authorization of biosimilars in the EU and worldwide. And I would start specifically, and I think that ties in also with further topics of the day, on the concept of global development. This is a concept that is a lot spoken about. And we have done quite some work to maximize really the relevance of clinical trials carried out in ICH regions. I must say, until recently, the European Commission had interpreted the legislation in a way that meant that all data provided in the marketing authorization dossier should have been established with a reference product authorized in the EU. And in addition, also batches had to be sourced from the EU. We were listening to stakeholders at the time who explained that this particular interpretation obliges applicants to repeat clinical studies, which is particularly costly for manufacturers of biosimilars and not necessarily adding anything to the safety of the product, let alone any ethical consideration. So to facilitate the global development of biosimilars and avoid unnecessary repetition of clinical trials, it is now possible, so we have changed our interpretation, it is now possible for an applicant in the EU to compare the biosimilar medicinal product in certain clinical studies and in vivo non-clinical studies with a non-EEA authorized comparator. That's a bit of difficult language, but in a way it is opening up for global development because we are not fixated on the comparator being EU authorized or EEA authorized. So the comparator medicinal product will need to be authorized by a regulatory authority with similar scientific and regulatory standards as the EU. So not all comparator products will be suitable. The standard we are applying there is, for example, those of ICH countries. And the recently adopted EMA guidelines, so European Medicines Agency guideline on the topic, endorses the global approach. And I'm really pleased to see that there is a lot of interest from industry through the EMA scientific advice. So we see that this move has generated quite a bit of interest. And obviously, our hope in the Commission is that this will translate in the coming years into new and affordable products for patients. On the same notion, the European Commission is also open to explore the global approach for complex generics. This is work for the future. However, on the other hand, we are not intending to change labeling and naming of biosimilars. I will not go into that topic in detail, knowing it's a sore point, but there we don't have intentions to change our current position. Many authorities actually worldwide are shaping at the moment their regulatory and scientific framework for biosimilars. And the Commission, with the support of the European Medicines Agency, is there really fully engaged in the promotion of international collaboration for authorization and oversight of these products. So today I would like to reflect on a couple of activities that are ongoing and where we take an active role. In 2014, the World Health Assembly decided to promote the access of biological products, including biosimilars, which is a clear demonstration of international interest. We will follow the forthcoming review of the 2009 WHO guidelines, and we consider this as an opportunity to confirm the essential principles for the assessment of biosimilars that are developed in these guidelines. And we obviously have also the hope that this review will result in further alignment of WHO guidelines with European standards. Another initiative that I would like to bring to your attention is the recently created International Pharmaceutical Regulators Forum. So that is an international regulators-only forum for exchange on regulatory matters. And one of the first topics this forum has taken up was to exchange on biosimilars. So for example, in this forum we have regulators from Brazil, Canada, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Switzerland, the US, Mexico, the East African Community, and the WHO and the EU to work together on this particular topic. And I think this is a very good issue that there is discussion in the regulatory community on biosimilars. The first document or piece of work that is to come out of that initiative is a common public assessment information template, which should provide a summary of core information for assessment of biosimilar products from publicly available assessment reports. So the discussion in such a wide range of regulators and the interest in that discussion should be taken as a very positive sign. Also on scientific cooperation, I'm also very, very pleased to note that recently our Japanese colleagues from PMDA joined the EMA, Health Canada, and FDA in the so-called biosimilars cluster. This is a very specific and technical group and allows in-depth exchanges on specific products or aspects of guidelines. But in this rapidly evolving environment, holding scientific exchange is of great value for all participants. And as I said, we are very, very pleased that the group could be enlarged recently by participants from Japan. Another initiative that is ongoing, and you all know, is obviously the ongoing trade negotiations that we are holding with the United States in the context of the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership. And also in this framework, for the EU, further harmonization and access of biosimilars to the US market is amongst one of the priorities of negotiation. So in this respect, obviously, we're very pleased and noted the positive development on the first authorization of a biosimilar in the US using the dedicated pathway for biosimilar development. There we look forward to additional and more positive developments, both in terms of product authorization, alignment of guidelines, and we would obviously very much welcome that if the corpus of FDA guidelines that is currently available in a draft version would be finalized and to the extent possible, of course, aligned with EU requirements so that we can move a further step towards more global development. So I think I would like to leave it there. You will have got basically the main gist of our current work, which I think is a lot on promoting and facilitating and working towards more global development in the biosimilar sector, also supporting uptake of biosimilars in the healthcare systems. And I think what we really share is a common goal of building healthier societies with really for the benefit of patients. So I can really confirm here at this moment in time the Commission's support towards this sector. We continue to work towards a favorable regulatory environment for biosimilars within and outside the European Union. And I imagine that the discussion on these matters will continue to involve all parties. So in conclusion, I'm very, very interested to hear today's discussion and wish the conference and the participants a very informative day today. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.